Chosen ones, listen closely. This is not ordinary guidance. From the moment the sky passes 13 September and through the closing breath of 17 September 2025, the cosmos is handing you a rare corridor of quiet, a 4-day window that will not repeat in the same way. I'm asking you to be completely, consciously silent for these days. Not silent because you are avoiding something, but silent because the universe is speaking in frequencies that words simply cannot catch. This silence is your tool, your sanctuary, and your initiation. Put it on like armor and also like a warm blanket. Prepare, because what follows will change how you feel, how you know, and how you move through your life. Begin by understanding why silence matters now. When you remove ordinary sound, you remove ordinary thought. The noise of social media, the endless commentary in group chats, the habitual internal monologue, all of that creates a fog that blocks fine energies and subtle downloads. Between 13 and 17 September, the collective field is thinning. A strong alignment is opening channels for direct transmission of clarity, guidance, and reconfiguration. In this thinning, your energy body becomes a receiver. Words, opinions, and external vibrations can overwrite those transmissions. So silence is not deprivation. It's a deliberate clearing. In stillness, you receive the patterns the universe has been preparing to lay inside you. Imagine a radio dial finely tuned perfectly. You don't need to shout into the speaker to hear it. You only need to be quiet and listen. Prepare your physical space as if you were preparing a vessel. Choose one room, a corner, a small altar where you will spend the bulk of these 4 days. Clean it with loving intent. Remove clutter. Place a small journal, a comfortable cushion, water, and simple, grounding food there. Light a candle or use a soft lamp to create a gentle boundary between the inner and outer worlds. Turn off notifications on your phone and, if possible, put the device in another room or in airplane mode. Tell only necessary people those you must tell that you will be unavailable for a sacred practice, and do not engage in argumentative conversation before you begin. Make practical arrangements. Meals, work pauses, care for pets or children. The smoother your external life, the deeper your interior silence. On the first day, enter silence like entering a temple. Start with your breath. Sit or lie down and breathe in consciously for a count that feels natural, then release. For a while, let every breath be an anchor. Don't try to force visions or chase intense feelings. Simply allow. You may feel a gentle hum in your body or a warmth behind your eyes. You may experience yawning, tears, or sudden fatigue. These are not weaknesses. They are raw releases. Your nervous system is recalibrating. Allow the body to let go. Rest when it needs rest. Drink water. Eat simple, nourishing foods, soups, steamed vegetables, fruit. Avoid heavy stimulants. Light, clear fuel supports the internal downloads. You will notice the inner critic becoming louder at first. When the mind starts to chatter, what am I missing? I should be doing X. Observe it like a curious traveler passing by your window. Do not engage. Say nothing out loud and do not feed the thoughts with drama. If you need to release something verbally, write it. Journal freely. Writing is permitted. It's a private language that captures and translates the new codes without scattering them outward in speech. Allow dreams to be your teachers. Keep your journal beside the bed. If you wake in the night, write the dream fragment, even if it's one line. Symbols will repeat. Patterns will begin to form. Trust them. Expect physical symptoms that might surprise you. The body can feel electric, as if small currents are running under the skin. Your head may feel light or heavy. Ears may ring or pulsate. Your throat may tickle with the sensation of wanting to speak but not needing to. You may experience waves of emotion. Sudden grief for no identifiable reason. Joy that resembles laughter with no object. Old memories surfacing like film clips. This is purification. Energies that have been stored are now being released and transformed. If panic arises, breathe into it and soften your belly. Ground yourself by pressing your feet on the floor, walking slowly, and naming 3 things you can feel with your body. Do not interpret every event as dramatic. Silence actually amplifies the ordinary into the holy. The way the sunlight falls across a table can become a sacrament. A cup of tea can taste like a communion. Relearn how to see. Sensory perception sharpens. Colors deepen. Smells become more layered. Sounds outside the home wind, birds, distant traffic will carry more harmonics. Let these small miracles reteach you wonder. You will also experience energetic interactions. Some of you will feel pulled to other people strongly, like magnets suddenly responsive. This is because your frequency is shifting and some relationships will no longer resonate. During silence, avoid initiating major conversations or decisions with others. If you must answer, keep your responses minimal and practical. Do not engage in debate, gossip, or emotional labor. Saying nothing is itself an ethical action right now. It protects your clarity and respects the integrity of the downloads you are receiving. Feed your silence with gentle practices. Meditate not to become enlightened, but to become honest. Simple breath awareness, open-eyed stillness, or a slow walking meditation outside will suffice. Move slowly. Pay attention to each step. Chant only if the impulse is born from your core. Otherwise, refrain from singing loudly or using mantras that scatter attention outward. If you are used to guided meditations with heavy narration, choose shorter, sparse guidance or none. Let the frequency that wants to come in have room. During dreams and states of deep relaxation, you may experience what I call downloads, not just ideas, but geometric impressions, new sensations, and sudden knowing. These often arrive as metaphors, a staircase, a key, a river. Rather than analyzing them immediately, record them and return to them each morning. Patterns build like a mosaic. Over the course of these 4 days, you will see the same symbols persist and deepen. These are personalized codes tailored to your soul's next chapter. They may indicate closures, openings, or new abilities. Some will feel like a re-anchoring, a return to something you once knew and lost. Others will be entirely new, as if a secret language were being installed inside you. Expect social ripples. People who are used to the version of you who is always available may react with confusion or mild frustration. This is okay. Their reaction is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to do what the field is asking of you now. Resist the urge to explain. If you must respond, use only 1 or 2 sentences and then return to silence. There is power in creating absence. Absence creates space for the unseen to be recognized. Think of yourself as a lighthouse briefly stepping off its tower so the sea can settle. As silence deepens, you may experience a polarity, fear and reverence. Both belong. Fear often arises because your old identity, the version of you who proves, argues, seeks validation, does not know how to exist when not talking. Hold fear gently. Reassure it by focusing on embodiment. Feel your feet, touch your skin, breathe slowly into your sternum. Reverence will arrive like a tide. In those moments, you will know things you did not read or learn. You will suddenly remember conversations you had with people who are no longer alive, or you will recall promises made to yourself in other lifetimes. These are real and anchoring. Let them seed the next decisions you will take after the silence. During the middle of the silent window, pay attention to the subtle body. Your chakras will not all activate at once. Some will hum, some will feel closed, and some will feel like they have been reset. If the heart opens, you may grieve for past versions of relationships. But grief is a doorway, not a trap. Let it flow. If the solar plexus brightens, you will feel a new confidence rise quietly, not the aggressive kind, but a calm, sovereign presence. If the third eye awakens, your visual field may sharpen beyond the physical into symbolic sight. Treat all of this with humility. These are capacities returning, not trophies to flaunt. On the 3rd day, you might encounter resistance in the form of temptation to end the silence early. People will text, a trending post will appear, a familiar Discord will whisper from your phone. This is the test. The energy of the field will try to reabsorb you into old patterns. This is precisely why you must hold steady. The first 3 days prepare, the 4th day integrates. The cumulative effect is exponential. Staying silent transforms your nervous system so that the downloads have time to settle into your cells instead of evaporating on contact with chatter. Throughout these days, keep a simple ritual of gratitude. Each morning, as you open your eyes, place your hand on your heart and silently thank whatever part of the universe you trust. You do not need to speak it. Gratitude speaks in frequency anyway. Before sleep, imagine a thread of soft light connecting your crown to the heart of the earth. Visualize it pulsing gently. This thread will ground any intense downloads so they do not overwhelm the personality. It will also anchor any insights into daily life when you return to speech. Do not neglect the practical. If you are on medications, continue them. If you are responsible for the care of others, arrange for necessary support. Silence is powerful but not a replacement for medical advice or essential responsibilities. Use this practice where it is safe and appropriate. There are many ways to be silent: full verbal silence, social media silence, emotional silence around certain topics. Choose the version that keeps you safe and fully present. When the fourth day arrives, move slowly toward re-entering the world of words. Do not rush to broadcast everything you received. Integration takes time. Spend the day after the silence in quiet movement. Cook something nourishing. Walk barefoot if possible. Read nothing sensational. Sip tea. Share only with those who have earned the right to hear the depth of what you hold. Speak with intention. Let your first words be measured like stepping stones across a river. The voice that returns will be clearer, truer, less reactive. You will find that you no longer need to explain or perform. Your presence will speak. After the silence, reflect on the changes. Revisit your journal entries and notice threads. Which symbols repeated? What subtle instructions appeared? How did your body shift? Which relationships feel different? Which decisions now feel obvious where they once felt foggy? Make a simple plan to honor the highest impulses that came through perhaps a new daily practice, a creative project, a boundary you need to hold. The downloads will require small, steady actions to integrate. Do not rush into large outward moves purely on spiritual exhilaration. Root every inspired action in small, embodied steps. Remember that you are not being isolated. You are being refined. The silence is not punishment, it is initiation. It trains you to hear the subtle orchestra beneath the daily clamor and to become an instrument that can play in the new harmonic. Many will go through this period without noticing the depth of their own transformation because they will not choose the discipline of silence. You chose otherwise. That alone marks you. If doubt creeps in and you ask, what if nothing happens? Know this: change does not always appear as fireworks. It often appears as small, steady, rewiring a new intolerance for toxicity, an inexplicable alignment with opportunities, a seed of creative courage that blossoms months later. Trust the slow alchemy. The field will use silence to lay new foundations. Be patient and kind with yourself. Now, practical pointers for tonight and the opening hours on 13 September. Make sure your sleeping space is comfortable. Turn off all screens at least 1 hour before sleep. Place the journal and pen within reach. Hydrate lightly. If you feel anxious before bed, rest your hand on your abdomen and breathe into it until your heartbeat settles. Wake up without alarm if you can. If an alarm is necessary, choose a gentle tone. Begin the morning with a short sitting practice, 3 to 15 minutes, purely to orient. Keep the day intentionally quiet. Honor what you receive by living it. The greatest disrespect to a high-frequency download is to allow it to dissipate in the noise of the world. Take the integrity of these 4 days seriously. Guard it. Speak less. Feel more. Move deliberately. When you come back on the 17th, carry the silence forward in micro-practices: a minute of breath before answering messages, a 2-minute check-in before conversations, a clean space each day where you retreat. These small anchors will preserve the refinements you received. Chosen ones, this is your invitation to remember. The universe is asking you to be still so it can rearrange the furniture of your life. Take this seriously. Be courageous. Be kind to the body. Keep your journal close. Protect your boundaries. And when you return to voice, let your words be fewer and truer than before. The world needs calibrated souls who speak only when speech enhances the field. This is your initiation. Walk through it in silence, and you will emerge carrying a light that others will feel before they even know your name. As you move into these next hours and days, know that the cosmos often gives gifts in the form of small tests. A situation that used to make you reactive will appear again, but now it will pass through you differently. Where you previously met friction with argument, you may now meet it with a steady, unshakable calm. That is not detachment. That is mastery. Watch how your boundaries feel lighter and firmer at once, like glass that can be seen through but will not be broken by casual hands. This is one of the first practical returns from such a silent initiation. You find that the old triggers lose their charge. Notice this. Celebrate it privately. Let it become a quiet proof that the downloads are real. You may begin to receive practical clues about your life's next steps. These will rarely come as a loud directive. Instead, they will arrive like breadcrumbs. A thought that keeps appearing between tasks, a seemingly trivial conversation remembered from long ago, a sudden curiosity about a line of work you once considered. Do not dismiss these as random. Record them. Map them slowly. Ask simple embodied questions: what feels light? What absorbs my energy? And answer them from sensation, not from fear. The answers will be honest because they will be rooted in your new frequency, not in obligation or conditioning. Understand, too, that not every relationship will survive this refinement, and that is not always tragic. Some bonds are contractual for a season. They teach, they catalyze, then they complete. In this period of silence, you might feel inner clarity about who belongs near you and who does not. That clarity may come as an unspoken retraction of interest, a softening of attachment. Approach these endings with reverence. Speak only when necessary. If endings must be voiced, do so from the cleanest place in you, not to punish, but to conserve the integrity you are building. Remember the old phrase, leave with gratitude, not with accusation. There will also be new doors. Opportunities will show up in forms you might not immediately recognize as spiritual. An unexpected invitation, an article that lands like an echo of something you've been innerly saying, or a person who enters your life carrying the exact resource you need. These are manifestations of the field reorganizing to reflect your inner alignment. Treat them as sacred coincidences. Pause before you act. Ask quietly and without fanfare whether this is rooted in fear or in curiosity. If curiosity, yes, step gently. If fear pulls you, wait and let the clarity deepen. Integration requires discernment as much as it requires surrender. During these days, your relationship with creativity will change. Many who undertake this kind of silence report an overflow of images, phrases, songs, or even smells that feel like instruction. Creativity will feel like a language translating the downloads into usable form. Do not rush to produce for others. Create first for the container of your own life. Paint, sing, write, move. Let the body speak in mediums beyond speech. Some of your best work will now begin as private translations of private transmissions. Later, when you share, you will find an authenticity that resonates more widely because it comes from the deeper source rather than from the need to be seen. Practical embodiment practices will anchor what you receive. Use touch as a liturgy. Massage your hands with oil, press your palms to your face, walk barefoot in the morning grass. These simple acts tell the nervous system that the revelations are safe to integrate into tissue, not just into thought. Eat with reverence when you can. Chew slowly. Taste. Let each meal be a small ceremony. When your body is fed consciously, your central nervous system receives the message that the downloads are welcome to inhabit flesh and bone. Finally, close this practice by making a vow to yourself that is tender and precise. Place a hand over the heart and say inwardly, I will honor these days by living their wisdom through small, steady acts. I will choose embodiment over spectacle. I will protect the frequency that taught me. Keep the promise public only if it helps you. Otherwise, let it be a private covenant between you and the river of your life. Remember that initiation is not a moment, but a turning. The world will not necessarily recognize you at first. Do not let that deter you. You were called to this silence because you are being prepared to carry what the field will require next. Close your eyes one last time. Take 5 long, unmeasured breaths, as if each one is a book closing gently on a chapter that must remain safe. When you open your eyes, let them open slowly. Carry softness in your gaze. Move into your day as someone who remembers a small and powerful thing. Language is a tool, and silence is a temple. Use both wisely.